My name is Clark Wilson. I'm the chairman of the Geological Sciences Department at the University of Texas, and I'm one of the co-investigators on the University of Texas NEAS site, which is dedicated to using seismic methods to learn about Earth structure and support of the NEAS project. Right. The NEAS project is concerned with the effect of earthquakes on structures and other elements of the built environment. And I'd like to give a background discussion of why there are earthquakes at all. So we know from mapping the Earth's surface, both the oceans and the continents, that the Earth is divided into a number of fairly rigid crustal plates. And those crustal plates include, for example, in North America, a plate that extends from near the west coast of North America all the way to the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, where the mid-Atlantic ridge is. And there are many other, probably 15 or 20 major crustal plates covering the surface of the globe. And for the most part, we recognize now that earthquakes occur at the boundaries between crustal plates. For example, in the west coast of the United States, the boundary between the North American plate and the Pacific plate includes the San Andreas Fault, which runs through California. And most other places in the world, we find almost all major earthquakes are at plate boundaries. The question is, why are there earthquakes there? And the answer is that the interior of the Earth contains heat sources. Those sources are principally radioactive elements that decay, and the decay particles give off heat. And so if that heat could not escape, the inside of the Earth would be melted. But we know it's not. So the answer is that there must be some process for removing the heat from the Earth, and that process could either be conduction or convection. Conduction is too slow, and we know now that convection, where the transport of hot material from the inside to near the surface, is the principal way in which heat is released from the inside of the Earth. And so the convection involves the motion of material from deep inside the Earth to near the surface, much in the same way that when you cook oatmeal on the stove, the pot, which is heated from below, brings the hot material to the surface and transfers the heat to the atmosphere. And so in the case of the Earth, the hot material in the convection cells is moving vertically and horizontally when it gets near the surface, and it applies forces to the crustal plates which move them around. So in, for example, the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, we have the crustal plates being moved apart, and hot material comes into the mid-Atlantic ridge and forms new crust. In other locations, for example, the Western Pacific, we have areas where plates are going underneath each other and creating trenches and deep earthquakes. So the answer to the question why there are earthquakes is that with the crustal plates being moved around, we have the relative motion of the plates, and at the boundaries where there are faults, we have episodic motion where things will stick together, and when the force is enough, the fault will slip and we will have an earthquake. And that generates the seismic waves which shake structures and necessitate the NEAS project.